And since then, he's just gone from strength to strength. He plays all over the country, and it's a pleasure to have him here. Put your hands together for Mr. Rob Hughes!
Hello! How you doing, you right? You well? Good. I'm feeling good, ladies and gentlemen. Specifically, I'm feeling optimistic, and I'll tell you for why. Because all my life, yeah, I've been treated like a gullible fool. Treated like a con that I've been ripped off. Not anymore. You've now got this. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a lucky talisman. And it's going to protect me, so I don't get conned anymore. Got it from the pound shop. $1.99. So a little bit about me, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be quite sarcastic. A couple of weeks ago I had a flat tyre. I took my car to the garage. As a young guy working outside, I drove in. I said, "Excuse me mate, I've got a flat." He said, "What, a flat tyre?" I said, "No, I'm just driving around disclosing my living arrangements to strangers." Driving in tonight, there's a song playing on the radio called "Big Girls Don't Cry." That was obviously written by somebody who's never been to a post-Christmas weigh-in at Slimming World. For my birthday recently, my friends took me to a strip bar, a lap dancing bar. Not really my cup of tea, but they took me. The girl inside said it's £20 for one dance, and one dance lasts the length of one song. I said, "All right, I'll have Bohemian Rhapsody." That's funny because it's a long song. Cheers. It does deserve more, quite frankly. It does deserve more. Sat in the toilet for 3 hours today, ladies and gentlemen. 3 hours. Nothing happened. In the end, I thought to myself, I don't need this shit. Something funny going on in my house at the moment. My wife is tired all the time and she's vomiting every morning. I think we all know what that means, don't we? She's back on the heroin. I was reading a magazine this week. There's an interview with the actress Billie Piper. In the interview, Billie says that after playing Doctor Who's companion for so many years, playing a prostitute has really stretched her. And there's a photograph of 90s rapper Coolio, as he is now. I don't know if you remember Coolio. 90s rapper, fuck me, he's put some weight on that boy. Apparently he's been living in a gangster's paradise. And there was an article about the woman who wrote the vagina monologues, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who don't know what the vagina monologues are, they're a little bit like this, some old cunt rambling into a microphone. But apparently when she was younger, she was a compulsive liar. As one friend put it, she used to talk out of her arse. She's obviously turned things round now. It's nice to hear you laughing, ladies and gentlemen. I need that reassurance. I do get very nervous on stage. I won't say that I'm shitting myself. I think that's a little bit vulgar, but I have to confess I am emitting three-dimensional farts. I think my nervousness stems from having a lack of confidence and very low self-esteem. I've got such low self-esteem, in fact, that my idea of fantasizing during sex is to close my eyes and pretend that I'm someone else. My lack of confidence was compounded recently when I was a victim of identity theft, and the thieves gave it back. And it doesn't help that I'm not a successful man, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a successful man. This was made painfully clear to me recently when I attended a swingers party. Swingers party. Everybody in the room had to put their car keys into a bowl. My bust passed it out like a sore throat. But despite all this, I did manage to persuade a woman to marry me. I actually met my wife speed dating of all places. I remember the night very well. She sat opposite me. She wasn't my wife then, obviously, that would be weird. She sat opposite me. She's a perfect stranger. She said, "Pick 5 words to describe yourself." I said, "I'm inarticulate." Those of you who get that joke, congratulations. Those of you who don't, congratulations means well done. But it was difficult for me when I started seeing my wife as boyfriend and girlfriend because I didn't have any real point of reference. I'd never really been out with a woman. I'm not proud of this, but my only experience with a woman up until that point had been with a female escort, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not proud of that, but I was an 18-year-old virgin and I could not get laid for love nor money. It's not strictly true. As an 18-year-old virgin, I could not get laid for love. I saw an advert in the paper. It said, "Woman offers full girlfriend experience, £100. So I phoned it up. I said, "Hello." I spoke very differently back then. "Hello, I phoned in about the full girlfriend experience." She said, "Have you got £100? I said, "Yes." She gave me an address. She said, be at this address tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. So I went to this house, I knocked on the door. This beautiful woman, Brenda, she was wearing a negligee. She opened the door. I said, I'm here for the full girlfriend experience. £100. I gave her the money. She said, come inside. She lured me inside. She closed the door. She went into the lounge. She sat down on the sofa and she went into a deep sulking silence. And I had to spend the next 2 hours working out what it was that I'd said wrong. A very authentic experience. But yeah, that was that. That's when we got together. It's 7 years now we've been married. Things are starting to get things are starting to get a bit dull. Anybody who's been in a relationship, it's fucking true, man. Anybody who's been in a relationship for that length of time will tell you things do get a bit dull. We're trying to liven things up a little bit. We went to a wife swapping party recently. I made a bit of a faux pas. I didn't realise it was just for the one night. I looked like a fucking idiot turning up with all those suitcases. We're going to a nudist convention next month, hoping to at least. We don't know what day it's on, but we will go if we've got nothing on. That's another one that does theirs a little bit more. Did a bit of role play recently. That was exciting. My wife said to me, she was like, do a bit of role play. I love a man in uniform. I said, well, what uniform? She said, someone with authority. So I scouted around the charity shops and stuff. I found a nice peak cap. Found a nice jacket. That was easy enough, to be honest. The hardest bit to get was the giant lollipop. I got the wrong end of the stick. Yeah, she said, I didn't want you to be a lollipop, man. I want you to be somebody who, someone authoritative, someone who can turn heads. So turn heads, I can fucking stop traffic looking like this. I'll be honest with you, you're giving that one too much. That doesn't really deserve that much. That's a weak one, and I'm aware of it, but I'm just putting it in there because I'm like that. Freaking maverick. Yeah, so, God, where was I? Hang on. I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm doing a Glee Club tomorrow night, and I've fucked around with my set, like, massively. Yeah, pretend I didn't do that, right? Sex has gone really dull. It's when we first got together, we were sexual animals. We were really sexual animals. My wife would initiate sex. She would look at me. She'd come here, son. Come here. I'm not gonna fuck you. Come here. Very aggressive woman, my wife. I won't mess you up. She'd grab me that. She goes, I want you. I want you. So you can sit down. That's what she grabbed me. She said, I want you. She doesn't say I want you anymore. The most seductive thing she says to me these days is, do you want to try and have sex? Do you want to try and have sex? It's become a chore, ladies and gentlemen. And she's right to use those words, but it has become a chore. A couple of weeks ago we were trying to have sex. I wasn't really aroused, she wasn't really aroused. The best way I can think to describe it to you is that it was like trying to push a flump through a polo net. Oh yes. Frankly, I'm offended that you'd laugh so much at that. It's actually very painful for the flump. But yeah, so that's that. I'm pretty much done, I think. Yeah, coming up to the end of my time. Before I go to the Legion, I do want to thank you. This has been really nice for me. It's good practice for me, and you'd be lovely. I always worry about doing a gig in a pub because of the nutter in the pub. Do you all know what I mean when I talk about nutter in the pub? You're all looking at me like I'm the nutter in the pub. I'm not. You know what I mean when I talk about the nutter in the pub, yeah? This is an absolute true story. I was in a pub one time, I sat there, I was having a drink, I was waiting for a friend, I was reading a paper, and this guy came up to me and he said, excuse me, can I have this seat? Yeah, that's fine. He grabbed an empty pint glass and said, excuse me, mate, can I have this glass? I said, yeah, that's fine, that's no problem. And he reached into his bag, and I thought, oh, look, he's coming to the pub, he's hard up, isn't he, a bit skint. And he's brought some cans into the pub to save some money, and he did have cans in his bag. He pulled out a can of Big Soup. Weird. Which he opened, he poured into his pint glass, and he took a mouthful of it, and I remember this, he looked at me, he smiled, he had a little bit of carrot between his teeth, and he asked me a question that I would defy any man or woman to say no to. He said, would you like to see my time machine? Without missing a beat, I said, I'd fucking love to see your time machine. And he got it, he said, I haven't got it with me, but I've got the manual. And he reached into his bag, and he pulled out this book, and the book was full of these beautifully, impeccably drawn diagrams. It was though Leonardo da Vinci himself had drawn these diagrams, right? I said, this is amazing, man. I said, how does it work?
No, it's dead simple. You just get in it, type the date you want to go to, and it takes you there.
Now this was a Friday night, right? I said to this guy, I said, right, so if I got in your machine tonight and I typed in next Friday's date, it would take me there like that.
He said, no, not just like that. It would take about a week.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Rob Hughes. You've been lovely. Thank you.
Oh, Rob Hughes, everyone! It's marvellous!